What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Rivah. It's very nice to meet you. Before we get into this video, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you guys hit that notification bell. If you don't know, now you know. I post every single day. This video is actually from one of my subscribers. One of my subscribers hit me up on Instagram, by the way. If you're not following me on Instagram, my Instagram is at RIVAH_JORDON. Yes, and it was actually Haley_Rain. So thank you so much, Haley, for hitting me up. I told you I would react to it, and here I am reacting to it. So you guys know how I like to do it. I like to just go ahead and jump right into this video. I never see videos before I react to them. I want to give you guys my honest and true opinion. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this video.
I like to get comfy. I've been snuggling up, drinking my glass of wine and water and listening.
But is your price too high?
Oh, is my price too high? I thought you said is my place too hot. Sorry.
No, is your price too high?
I don't think my price is too high.
Okay. Well, what do you want?
Ultimately, I want a man that's a provider.
Okay.
Willing to work.
Okay.
In the beginning, but when it's time to have children, I do want to be able to stay at home and raise the children.
All right.
So they're able.
How many kids would you like?
Issues with me. Ideally 3 to 4, but right now I would say at the age that I am, maybe 2.
How old are you?
32. Well, I'll be 32 soon.
Okay, so you want to be a traditional housewife then?
I wouldn't say ultra traditional, but somewhat, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But you want the man to be a traditional provider?
Yes. Ideally, I would like that.
Okay. That sounds like an imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think so.
If you need him to be a traditional provider, but he's not getting a traditional housewife, what is he getting that's better than a traditional housewife? Because his responsibility is here. What's he going to get that's here or above?
What does a traditional housewife entail?
Well, you tell me, because you said you're not one. You picked the right one.
Housewife, I'm just imagining kind of being a slave. So that's
Let me stop you right here.
Mm-hmm.
Where are your people from?
My mom's from Trinidad and my dad's from Jamaica.
Okay. Okay, I agree. Let me go ahead and stop you right here. Because I can't fathom as to why somebody would consider being a housewife and equate that to being like a slave or treated like a slave. That I automatically 100% don't understand where she's coming from with that, or why she would even say something like that. And Caribbean people, they're more like, I feel like they're very, wake up at like 5 a.m., cook, clean. I'm not talking about like everyone, but I'm just saying like the grandparents and stuff like that, like very like early wakers, get everything done for the household. And so I really want to see why she's saying anything about slavery. I like being treated like a slave. I really want to know why she's saying that.
So I see that's
hold on.
Why?
We don't need white supremacy, racism. When all we got is this, that you think that the women who came before you were slaves.
It's not that necessarily, but just what I'm seeing in the media and just all around me. I see women trying to be this housewife for men, traditional housewife for men, and they're just getting like, can I curse?
Be prepared to be challenged on anything you're going to say, because you tell me in the media, I'm going to ask you what you watch. Excuse me? You're talking about when women, a woman who's, let's do it. Traditional housewife. What media are you talking about?
So let's. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I want you to define what traditional housewife.
No.
Because in my mind, traditional housewife is being home.
You can't overtalk me. That's how we don't do that.
Okay.
I said traditional housewife. You said no, not traditional housewife. All right. So you was thinking of something, and then you was talking about, well, from what I'm seeing in the media. I'm asking you what media. You haven't answered any questions. Okay. What media are you talking about?
Social media.
Where do you see traditional housewives in social media?
Everywhere.
Do you?
I do not. I have not seen traditional housewives on social media. I have not seen traditional housewives on social media. I think you see the complete opposite on social media. And I'm not sure his narrative as to why he's going hard on it. I'm sure he's gonna explain as to why he's so like intense. But for me, like being a woman, you know, I can understand a man's perspective, but you know, I'm a woman, right? And as a woman, I don't understand why somebody would say that. And I feel like that's why there's so many women now who are so quick to kind of like follow the trends of like, oh yeah, we don't need no man, we don't need this, because a lot of times it's like this kind of mentality of like a friend in the group who's like, oh no, like I'm not doing that, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, but the people that she's referring to, like, you know, the people who were before her, who were like older than her, like she's talking about, like she looks at it in a derogatory way when in actuality, like that woman is just taking care of her household. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, that I know of, just women getting taken care of and not working. No.
So that's what a traditional housewife is, taking care of and not working.
To me, yes.
Oh, okay. So, and that's getting the shit end of the stick?
From what I've seen so far, yes.
Why?
From what I've seen so far, yes. That's why I get your definition of it.
Well, why do you want it? Why do you want a man to take? Then why do you want a man to get out here and work and pay all the bills so you can sit at home?
I didn't necessarily phrase it as that. I said
that's what it is.
Wanted a provider for the most.
You wanted to be able to work, and you wanted. I asked the question. I asked the question, so I'm very clear. I asked the question. You don't want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant. You want a man to be a traditional provider. I've said that 3 times.
Okay.
But how we get to it, you don't have to want to be the one carrying the financial family load. Mm-hmm. You want to be provided for.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what is he going to get? Because he's not going to get a traditional wife. What is he going to get?
He's going to get the love and support that I have.
You buy a goddamn dog for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you ladies don't want a fair deal. You ladies want an unfair deal. You want a man to go out and do the things that men have always been expected to do since time immemorial, but yet you don't come to the table wanting to even come and act in good faith. You, women like you, I'm going to talk about you. You come in here talking about a traditional housewife as a slave. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, you leave men alone, go get your girlfriend, go buy a dog and live and die by yourself.
So it's funny, like, you know, she's laughing and that's considered funny, right? But like in actuality, we are definitely in a time, and I'm not saying it hasn't always been like this, but like we're for sure like in a time right now that women are definitely living for other women. And I don't know if women realize that. Like, you know, they have, some women have like this strong masculine energy. You know, you can't tell them nothing. I can do bad all by myself. I don't need you to take care of me. I can take care of me. And like, oh, we don't need no man. All men ain't this, ain't that. So essentially, like, you should be with a woman then, right? Like, is that what you're, like, women are doing a lot of things to impress other women and trying to make other women happy and like trying to X out the men out of the picture. And so what are you going to get by doing that? Like, and so he said that and she's laughing, but in actuality, like, he's being 100.
I get tired of you women talking about men as though we're something to hurt and abuse shit because you watch fucked up social media stories.
Mm-hmm.
Men are tired of having you put this shit on them.
Mm-hmm.
If we talked about y'all like this, you call us toxic. If we said, oh, traditional housewives, some gold diggers, then there'll be all kind of problems.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I mean. You guys are used to talking about men in some of the foulest ways. And then say you want them.
Okay.
So let's take it down. What do you want to stay home with your kids?
I absolutely do want to stay at home with my kids up until a certain age. Yes.
Then where are they going to go after what age?
I was thinking maybe kindergarten.
And if you have 4 children, that means you'll be out of the workforce for at least 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for a living?
I'm currently a flight attendant.
Flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
So, being gone out of the workforce for 10, 12 years, think you're going to be able to go back to be a flight attendant at 50?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, but ideally I would.
Right. So, in other words, your husband, if you had 4 kids, he would have to carry the load, because even if you sent the kids away to school, after the youngest is in kindergarten, you just sit at home by yourself. Ain't that something? That's what I said. So like I said 10 minutes ago, why does he have to go out and work and you get to sit on your butt at home? That don't sound like slavery to me. That sounds like luxury.
Yes. The way you put it, yes, it does.
It's not the way I put it. We just talked through your example.
I can see from that viewpoint. But I also had a question before we go further.
I want to ask,
Yeah, like, okay, so I don't understand. Okay, so your husband is working. You're gonna have a lot of kids, and you don't want to work. You don't plan on working after you have your children because you want to be there with them until they go like into school. Fine. Now, there's some people who would rather work because like being there with their kids is really tough on them. Like for some people, like it's a lot because, you know, if you have one kid and you're staying home and not working, I think that's a little different than having like 4 kids, especially if they're all very small and like back to back with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot to be at home with. So, but at the same time, it is a lot, but at the same time, it's not going to be a lot every single second. You know what I mean? Or like, where you can't like take a nap if you want to, like while one of your kids are napping, or like, you know, you can kind of multitask while you're home, like kind of like put some food on and like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that you have the luxury of doing because you're not bound to having to go sit at a workplace when you can be doing a million other things at one time, especially if your husband is going to be financially stable enough to take care of you, the kids, himself, the bills, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I don't find where it's evening out that you're saying that like they have like the women have like the short end of the stick. I don't understand that.
I get to ask my questions about this scenario.
Okay.
Do you have a cookbook?
Do I have a cookbook?
Nope.
No, but I
no. So you can't. So you can't cook. So basically.
Who said that?
I said that you can't. A woman who can cook. I come from cooking people. Women see traditional housewives understand that their province is the home.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is what I mean. What I mean is you can follow recipes. That means somebody else has to decide what the food for your family is.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing is the food for the family, and you can't even be responsible for that. Someone else has to do it. You'll follow it. So why don't your husband go get the woman who made the recipe?
Okay.
What do you bring into the table?
That's a valid point.
So this is what I mean.
That's a valid point.
When you ladies don't even bring,
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Well, you don't even bring the basic stuff. It's like,
okay.
You're like if you had 4 kids, you'd be the 5th one.
So what are the basics? This is what I really want to know. What are the basics for you?
Well, first of all, good faith.
Mm-hmm.
Good faith. Not first of all, I think you need to go back and understand what it means to be a woman and a wife. Because if you come in through saying slave, I really got nothing to talk about when we would say shit like that.
Mm-hmm. I think you need to hear where I'm coming from, but I want you to continue before I explain that.
Go ahead.
No, I want you to continue before I explain.
Well, but coming from a place of good faith, meaning that a man is something to be valued.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that the most important duty or responsibility a woman has on the planet is her children and her family. You don't want to have anybody else raising your kids, feeding your kids. You're supposed to take pride in these kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You are supposed to be proud about it. Mm-hmm. Following a recipe used to be insulting to women. Mm-hmm. They made their own recipes, but that's when women taught each other how to cook. So you're supposed to write in recipes to recipe books, not just looking on the back of a box. But you didn't. But sadly, many women today don't know how to do this stuff.
And I feel like cooking is like a basic life skill. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a basic life skill. It doesn't mean that you have to, cook. If you don't want to be married or you're not into it, or it's just a basic life skill. Like I feel like people should definitely know how to cook so that they can eat, so that they can survive. And I agree about what he's saying about like men being cherished and treasured, because like everybody just kind of beats up on them all the time. Like, oh yeah, men ain't this, men ain't that. They don't do this, they don't do that. And it's like, yeah, they are treasured. Like as human beings, we're all treasure, right? But like, yeah, if you're in a relationship, your man is your treasure. You're not gonna feel like, oh, you're a slave or anything like that. Like you're gonna be happy to do that stuff because you love him and he's been working all day, and you want to cook for him and make sure that he's comfortable when he comes home, because you understand, like, yeah, the workforce is not always easy, but this is gonna be your safe place. When you're done working, the world is hard enough. When you come home, I got you.
To school, you got an education pretty much like a guy that was gender neutral, and you're out here working, and then you want a man to come along and do what men have done for hundreds of years, but you're not even qualified to do what the women you used to call slaves did with joy.
Mm-hmm. I'm not calling them slaves necessarily. I'm just saying, depending on who they were married to.
Well, you can give me all the horror stories.
They were slaving.
Okay, who?
I can say that my mom was slaving. I can say that my mom had slaved for my dad.
Let me ask you a question.
She was working full time.
In this country, when a man and woman break up in this country, what percentage of the time do women leave financially devastated?
I don't know.
They don't. Mm-hmm. Men are the ones that leave financially devastated. 90+% of the time, custody goes to the wife. Mm-hmm. Half of the man's stuff that he had before. You need to go get familiar with this. This is why so many men are avoiding marriage, because women today are filing. We have a 50+% divorce rate, and women file divorce 8 to 9 times out of 10. It's because women have a financial incentive to file for divorce. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't look at Hollywood marriages, but you don't typically see women having to move back in with their mother because their husband got the home and the kids. This happens all the time with men.
Yeah.
So, but your mother had the slave. Is your mother still married to your father?
She is.
Uh-huh.
So does your mom feel like she was slaving? Like, if your mother is married to your father still, and you're saying that you felt like your mom was like a slave because of what she had to do for your dad, that shows the amount of respect and esteem you have for your father too. So at this point, we already know, like, you can bring water from the moon and it's never going to be enough. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that's your dad. That's your dad, right? That's her man, but that's your dad. And you feel like, I'm not going to be doing all this stuff like you was doing for him. And that's your dad that you're talking about. So that shows already the level of esteem, respect, and admiration that you're going to have. Like, if you don't have that for your example, your first example of a man, how are you going to have that for other men that you have no bloodline connection with, that you don't even know? How is that even going to be possible?
Would she call herself a slave?
I don't know. I could ask her, but I don't.
How long did they marry?
About 32 years. They got married right before they had me.
Thank you very much. See, what you said to me, what reminds me of so much of what happened with silent generation and baby boomers. The baby boomer generation, my mother's generation, looked down upon their mother and their grandmother's generation because they had to slave for their husbands and do all sorts of kind of stuff. And then they realized that when they got to be later in life, that they had failed as women. They realized that every other generation of women up to them had done their jobs. They were the generation that spent all the money, sold the family houses. They're the most selfish generation that ever lived. And the ones that are still alive will tell you, we have failed as women because they're my parents. They made a generation of harder women and softer men, all because they looked upon what their mothers did as being beneath them, because they got a little funky piece of education, a little bit of government assistance.
Not a funky piece.
And were told that you were better than your man in the civil rights struggle. The only group of women that actually looks at the women past them as fools. But yet, now you're the most you make more money, you're more educated than the previous groups of women, you have more options, opportunity, you're freest than ever been, and you're the most unhappy group of black women that ever existed.
I don't feel that way because
the stats say that, though. Okay. You don't feel that way. The stats say that, though. 1 in 4 of you will marry in a lifetime.
Okay.
And you said, I don't want to be a slave. And you said, basically, you said your mama's slave.
Yes, because I see and hear the way that my father treats my mother, and I know that she deserves better.
Oh, you need to stay in your place. You need to stay in your place.
In my place, how?
As a child.
Yeah.
That's your mama, but that's his woman. You need to stay in your place. And that's one of the main problems.
It's so funny because I was going to pause it and say the exact same thing. Like, low key, that's definitely not your place. Because how are you going to come interfere into something that you born and saw them together already? Like, you weren't even alive. You weren't even a thought when they met each other and they had their relationship going. And she's still with him. They're still together. He's still with her. She's still with him. Nobody knows that kind of like pillow talk, bedroom talk that they really have going on. You only know what you see as a child because parents aren't going to share everything with you. Maybe what you think, maybe you don't even know half the story. That's why I agree with him. Yeah. You have to stay in your place and stay out of people's relationships.
In the black community, we got kids judging grown relationships. Mm-hmm. You don't have any children, do you?
No, I don't have any children yet.
Well, that's my point. Mm-hmm. You're judging your mother and father from a kid's standpoint. Mm-hmm. Not that they're just individuals. You don't know what your mama does behind closed doors to your daddy, but your mama knows enough to have her ass in a marriage. Mm-hmm. Mm. She got more than you do.
What's that?
A husband.
It's not funny.
Okay.
How many siblings you got?
I have 4 stepbrothers, half brothers, and 1 like other brother. We have
how many children your mother have?
All 6 of us.
How many children do your father have?
Just the 2. Well, now.
So, hold on.
Now.
So let me start. Hold on. Pump the brakes. Mm-hmm. Your biological father?
Yes.
Went with your mother and raised kids from another man?
Yes.
No.
Later on.
I don't need your interpretation. The biology is all I'm concerned with. Mm-hmm. Your mother had children from another man?
Yes.
How many men?
My mother had children from another man. 2 other men.
2 other men. So your mama has 3 baby daddies.
Met my father.
So she's reproduced with 3 men.
Yes.
So your father accepted your mother, who had reproduced with 2 other men, and she hadn't been married to those men, right?
Correct.
Right. He sounds like a goddamn superhero as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, Lord.
Are y'all not hearing this? This woman,
It'll never be enough for her. It'll never be enough. Never.
Talking like her mother is some slave, and her father stepped in to raise. No, ma'am.
Waving.
This is why I say stay in your place as a child, because that man stepped in and did something he didn't have to do for your mama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is true, but at the moment, that wasn't even a factor. Until years later. But the main reason that I came on was, honestly, I had a few questions. I wanted to know, how do women determine if our price is too high? How do we determine that?
Man, the low-level lack of respect and contempt that you seem to have for men, black men in particular.
I don't think I have a low level and lack.
Man, I'm telling you what I'm experiencing.
Okay.
You can think what you want. I'm telling you what I'm experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a pretty accurate judge of character. Pretty accurate judge. You said slave. You judge your mother as a slave. You talked about stuff that you cannot substantiate. You have nothing to back up. Your mama is married to a man of 32 years who took her in with 3 children from 2 different men. I would almost bet that she's just thankful that she has this man, regardless as to what you think you saw. You think what you saw is what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in a kid's place and stop judging your grown parents. Because what are you doing at your life? Because you right now, to know if your price.
You over here worried about what your mama got going on. Your mama have a man. And you on talking to Kevin.
Too high. You judge your price. Let me answer the question. How's how you answer the question? How tall are you?
5'7".
Dress size.
Sorry?
Dress size.
Dress size, I would say about a 10.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
170.
So you weigh more than a man at your height.
Some men. Oh, at my height?
At your height.
8'7".
5'7". Yeah, the average height of an American man is 5'10". The average weight is 168. You weigh more than a man, so that lowers your value. And where would you judge yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? Just your face. You can't use 7.
Just my face? I would definitely say I'm an 8, 9.
Okay. Beyoncé is an 8. Kelly Rowland's a 9.
Okay.
Do you put yourself there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever done any modeling?
No.
Okay.
Wait.
No?
No.
So, if you're an 8 or a 9, you should be getting 8 or 9 outcomes.
I should be getting 8 or 9 outcomes?
Yeah. You're a flight attendant, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. So that means you interface with men nationwide.
Yeah.
If you're an 8 or a 9, someone would have taken you off a plane by now and put a ring on your finger.
Okay.
I'd give you a 6.
Oh, all right.
You're cute. But you're not pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous. I give you a 6. That's not an insult, man. You're cute.
Oh, no, I don't take it as an insult.
But the fact that you put yourself as an 8 or a 9, you're overestimating yourself based upon, if I just said Kelly Rowland, Beyonce, you say that you think that if I put 1,000 men, they would say all these things are similar. That's what you think.
And you're basing this just on face.
Yes. If I put your face in a lineup with Kelly Rowland and Beyonce, and I just put them in front of 1,000 American men, they'd say, yep, these women are all similar.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
I mean, I had a long day. I'm tired, so.
What, you had to do what?
I had a long day. I'm tired, and they wear makeup. If I had makeup on.
Ma'am, now here's the thing. This is what, as a professional image consultant, I do this in real life. I look past makeup. I look past surgical enhancements. I'm looking at you, fresh face, natural hair, and that's what I judge on.
Okay.
When I look at them too, before and after. And no, ma'am, you're cute, but you're not on the level of Beyoncé or Kelly Rowland at 8, 9, or 10. And it's fair to say you've not had those outcomes in life. You don't have men who are looking for those kind of women trying to wife you. I mean, you said ain't nobody trying to take you off an airplane. Those women get snapped up, and you're 32, 34?
I'm 32. Well, about to be 32.
So those women like that, 8, 9, or 10s, don't tend to make it past 23 single. They typically get snatched up.
Okay.
And this is before any kind of personality. This is just strict. So, and the reason we're here, you talk about putting your price too high. One, you have an overestimation of your actual level of your overall sexual marketplace value.
Okay.
At 5'7", you should be closer to about 135 pounds. That's size 4.
That's right for me.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear what you think.
Right now,
I don't want to hear what you think.
Too low.
Okay, I don't want to hear. But see, so people understand. As a professional image consultant who does this in real life, who's done it for modeling agencies and casting agencies, I'm talking to a flight attendant who's telling me what's too low.
Yeah.
You weigh more than a man. It's not too low. Go back into your family album and look at the women about 19, 20, 30, 40, 50. Go back onto a program called Soul Train.
That's so true, because a lot of the people back then was like very, very thin. And like everybody, like even if you look at like your grandparents and stuff, like everybody was slim. Even if they were slim thick, they were all necessarily slim. And I know people are gonna say like, oh yeah, but the food has changed. Okay, well, you have to, just like how the food has changed, you have to change the things that you eat, and we have to adjust. And remember, it's not just about, I know that, for this particular conversation, he's speaking about image, but for me, when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about health. I'm talking about your health, because honestly, your health is your wealth. Okay? Because you can work, you can do all these things, but if you're not healthy, it's no good. And people are gonna say, "Oh yeah, but because there's always somebody trying to negate everything that you're saying. Oh yeah, but some people are skinny, not healthy. Okay, great. But we're talking about just naturally, for you to be in a certain size so you can have more longevity with your lifespan and the things that you're able to do, with your body, with your joints, with your muscles, with your limbs, with what I'm saying, with your brain. Everything is connected. So you have to make sure that you are keeping track of your gut health, and you have to make sure that you're eating the right things. So essentially, you can have a natural weight. And people get so touchy when you talk about weight, but it's the truth. It's really, really true. Weight is connected. Like being overweight, you have way higher chances for a lot of things: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, a lot of issues with like your brain and your mind and thinking and memory, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So even though yes, it is about, he is talking about literally image and how you look. From my standpoint, the reason why I'm so strong when it comes about weight and size is because your health is your wealth. If you don't listen to anything else I say, take that. Your health is your wealth.
And look at the women in the 70s who were 5'7", and you will see they were dress size 4, 6. Go look at Thelma on Good Times. She was a perfect example of a 4. You weigh more than a man at your height.
I don't want to look sick. I don't want to look sick.
And this is why so many women's price is too high. no amount of logic, reason, discernment, when you believe you're whatever, man. The average woman puts on 30 to 50 pounds in pregnancy. If you got pregnant today, you blew to 200 pounds, maybe 220. And then after the first kid, you're not going to drop all the baby weight. If you actually have 4 kids, a guy will probably look at a woman about 220, 230 when you're all done. Mm-hmm. See, the average black woman today weighs more than the average black man at her height. Mm-hmm. And you can't tell you nothing about weight. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No physician, no professional can tell you a goddamn thing about it. You know better than everybody. But show me the outcomes. So when we talk about weight.
Sorry.
We talk about weight. We talk about weight. That is a component. Then we talk about, your overall look, there is a subjective component to looks, but there's an objective component to looks too. Mm-hmm. And objectively, when I listen to a woman who would say, I know Kelly Rowland, Beyoncé, they've been on the cover of People or Cosmopolitan as the most beautiful women in the world, you're putting yourself up there saying that, yes, People or Cosmo could put me up as one of the most beautiful women in the world, and that would make sense. That's what you're effectively saying over and over again. And that simply does not hold water in the world I live in. You're free to believe it. You're free to think that. But if you think that, of your estimation of your look, and if you think what you said is an estimation of your physique, then you're going to have your price way up here. Versus if you was more in line with what most people see. That's one of the main reasons price is too high. And that's before we get into anything regarding femininity, cooperation, agreeableness, actual wifely skills, anything like that. That's just straight aesthetics.
I completely understand what you're saying in regard to that. But like I said, my main question was, how do women determine if their price is too high?
Well, that's normally not. We don't suffer from a world of women who think their value is too low. We suffer from a world of women who think their value is too high. How do you judge it? On the outcomes. The kind and caliber of men that you think you want or qualify for, are they trying to make you their wife?
Right.
Yes or no? The kind and caliber of men that you think you want, are they actively trying to make you their wife?
Not, that's just...
I think, like again, if you were selling a car, you could think your car is worth whatever. You put out on a lot, the public gets to decide. Men decide. Mm-hmm. And it's not a matter of women knowing, it's a matter of women accepting. And what this interaction has proven, is demonstrated more than anything else, is far more women, sadly today, are more like you, not willing to accept and something that doesn't line up with what they believe or want to believe. And I mean, it doesn't matter what scale I gave you about the look, you still said, yeah, I put myself up there with them. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, delusion is allowed, but I mean, it is. Delusion is allowed. You're allowed to say whatever, but it doesn't. But after this is all said and done, when you're out in the world responds to what it is. So when you're out on the flights and you fly from here to there, the men who are sitting in first class or whatever, the men who actually are the kind and caliber of men that can afford to live the kind of lifestyle you want to, they're not checking for you. They don't see you. That's just from a look standpoint. Then there's the whole thing about your energy. And and that comes into your attitude and the conversations we've had. I'm quite sure a lot of people don't play this because the whole slavery thing. It's like, why do you even want a man? Because you don't really, because you haven't talked highly about any man. Like there was anything a man does outside of being a wallet.
You got that from what I said.
Yeah.
Judge based on the comments or what other people say. Don't judge me. Judge based on the comments or what other people say in the video. If you think if I'm misinterpreting, I challenge you. When this video is posted, go read what men are saying.
Okay.
Go read what the men are saying.
And you know, I love my subscribers, so make sure that you guys, or even if you're just watching this video, make sure that you guys comment down your opinion, because I want to know what you guys think as well. Even though I already know, like, the people on my channel are super, super, super duper transparent, and I don't even have to tell them to tell me how they feel because I'm already gonna know.
I mean,
you came on here for a reason. I'm giving you time and time and time, and I'm telling you what I'm getting from you. What I'm getting from you is a woman who has a low estimation of men.
Mm-hmm.
I said what I'm getting from you is a woman who has a low level lack of respect and contempt for men. I'm very clear on what I said. Okay, you're shaking your head.
Agree with that.
I don't care what you agree with. I get what I'm telling you how I see. This is when you close it down, and this is what I'm telling you how I experience you.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to accept it, but I'm telling you that's how I experience you. I have no dog in this fight. I have no reason to down you or up you. I'm telling you what I've experienced from what you said, the things you said, the examples we've walked through, and it's become worse as we've gone on, not better. So the more we've dialogued, it hasn't improved. It's gotten worse.
Okay.
So you can shake your head and dig your heels in. I'm telling you, no.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want to know, go back to your exes and ask them what it was like to be with you.
Okay.
Go interview them and say, what is it like to be with me? How did you experience me? And if they can risk being honest with you, take it. Because at the end of the day,
I would actually love that.
and the thing is but at the end of the day, you got to go out into this marketplace, and the men in the marketplace will be some of the same men that see the video. You have to look what the market says. And if the market comes back saying, hey, Kevin, you're wrong, man. She's a dime piece, and I'll take her, man. I make her $500. Shoot. Let her know where you flying to, sis. I'll take you. But if they're saying, nah, man, she's a little rough around the edges. I don't know. I don't like that, this or that. What are you going to do? Write them all off as being cracks? Are they all hurt with her? See, because I know how that works. You see something you don't like, you can, whatever. They're all mad, don't like women. Well, whatever. At the end of the day, what we do know is the kind and caliber men you would need to facilitate the lifestyle you have or want. You don't have them actively vetting you to be a wife. That's one thing we do know.
Okay.
And that is an accurate estimation of what he is right now.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hey.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Kevin, shut that down fast. Wow, that was a lot to unpack. Yeah, I agree with what he says, especially at the end about like how men who see the video are going to feel about it. Because if you're already, like I was saying, like if you're already talking negatively about the man who literally is the reason why you were alive, because you know what I'm saying? Yes, your mom is the one who birthed you, but how was the seed planted? Because she couldn't have got herself pregnant. So literally the reason why you're alive, you don't respect or have that admiration for. You already look at him a certain way. So how can any other man do anything different for you? It's going to be a lie. It's going to be everything that they do, you're already going to be looking at it sideways because you already have this mentality of how men are. And as I said before, I believe that, yes, we all should be cherished, right? We should all be cherished. You know, you have a good man, you love your man, but society tells you, like, no, like, you don't need to love on your man, you don't need to do this, you could do bad all by yourself, and then all, like he's saying, based on the numbers, most of our women are alone, you know? And who wants that? Who wants that? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every single time that I post. I post a video every single day, sometimes a couple times. So just make sure that you guys hit that notification bell so that when I do post, you are notified and you can come on and we can share our opinions in the comment section down below. Again, if you're not following me on Instagram, my Instagram is at RIVAH_JORDON. Shout out again to Haley_Rain for sending me this video in my Instagram DM. And also Haley, make sure that you come in the comments down below. I already know you're gonna be out here, but and tell everybody your opinions on this video also. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I always say, I love you guys. Mwah. I will see you in the next video.